Hello and good day to everyone. I'm Cyrus Ng, Research Analyst at iFast. Today, we will discuss our decision to cease research coverage on Russia. This follows our announcement on iFast ESG position regarding this conflict, where we have already disabled buys on Russian-related products and companies. We believe that in light of recent developments, especially the Russia-Ukraine war, Russian equities have become totally uninvestable. The main reason for buy disabling Russian products and seizing research coverage is for ethical reasons. We have a responsibility to uphold our values and ethics in light of human rights violations, and this war has led to substantial humanitarian suffering. Many innocent civilians have been caught in the crossfire in just 1 month since the war began on 24 Feb. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, or OHCHR, estimates 1,546 civilian casualties, including both adults and children, as of 12 March. Furthermore, they believe that actual figures may actually be higher due to difficulties involved in receiving information and compilation. Apart from civilian casualties, the UN also estimates that more than 10 million Ukrainians have been displaced from their homes, representing almost a quarter of the entire population. This includes 6.5 million who have been internally displaced, while the other 3.5 million have fled the country as refugees. In addition, 4.3 million out of the 7.5 million children population, or more than half, has been displaced, according to UNICEF. Multiple news sources have also reported other human rights violations and other potential war crimes. It has been reported that Russian airstrikes appear to be targeting civilian buildings like schools and hospitals, and Ukraine has reported that Russia may even be shelling humanitarian corridors. Furthermore, Russian troops are allegedly engaged in kidnapping and torture within captured Ukrainian regions. Russia is also suspected of using cluster bombs, which are opposed by humanitarian organizations like Red Cross due to the high number of potential casualties. This list of human rights violations and war crimes continue to stretch on and are examples of how the Russian leadership has shown a complete lack of humanitarian considerations. Ultimately, we are witnessing a combination of civilian casualties and displacements, exacerbated by Russia's failure to abide by the rules of war. This has directly led to wide-scale human suffering, which ultimately represents a severe violation of human rights. We also note that many of Russia's biggest companies are state-linked, due to the country's past as a communist regime. Key examples include Russia's largest energy companies like Gazprom and Rosneft, as well as Russia's biggest bank, Sberbank, all of which are majority owned by the Russian government. In addition, many Russian oligarchs are part of senior management in Russian companies, occupying C-suite and board roles. A quick look at the top listed Russian companies show that many of their key leadership have either already been sanctioned by the West or have been mentioned in US government agencies as key oligarchs, such as through the 2017 Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act and 2018's Putin list released by the US Treasury. For example, looking at Gazprom specifically, its board chairman Viktor Zubkov previously served as Putin's deputy prime minister, while Deputy Chairman Alexei Miller has been sanctioned by the US as early as 2018. Given the state-linked nature of many key Russian companies and the fact that many sanctioned individuals are part of the management in these companies, we believe that Russian equities on aggregate are highly exposed to political influences from Russia. We view this ultimately as undesirable, given our company's stance against the invasion of Ukraine. On an environmental level, the Russian military has engaged in offensives on nuclear plants, which could potentially damage the environment due to the possibility of radioactive leakages. For example, in early March, Russia captured the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, resulting in fires within the nuclear plant, which could have damaged essential equipment and led to nuclear contamination. Russia also captured the Chernobyl power plant on 24 Feb, even though it still contains a large amount of radioactive material. Recently, radiation monitors around Chernobyl have also stopped working, making it difficult to assess any radioactive leakages from the offensive. Finally, recent news reports also suggest that Russia has destroyed a laboratory used to improve radioactive waste management and taken radioactive samples for itself. Overall, the Russian offensives on nuclear power plants are reckless moves that could severely endanger the environment through the leakage of radioactive materials. We have shown that Russia and Russian companies have clearly violated ESG and ethical principles. This view is largely shared by the financial industry as a whole. Index providers like MSCI, S&P Dow Jones, and FTSE Russell have all declared Russian equities to be uninvestable. They have applied a blanket removal of Russian equities across their indices, with Russian bonds to follow soon. They have also removed Russia's emerging market status, relegating it to either a standalone or unclassified status. We believe that most fund managers will not be able to simply wait out this war, given that the ethical implications are too severe. Fund managers, similar to us, will likely find that the investment case for Russia has become extremely uncompelling given these severe ethical considerations. And therefore, we expect that fund managers, both ETFs and UTs, will have to pivot away from Russia in the long term. On top of ethical concerns, we believe the long-term investment case for Russian equities has collapsed. First, Western sanctions and a SWIFT ban will severely affect Russia. In 2014, ex-Finance Minister Kudrin estimated a SWIFT ban would lead to a 5% GDP contraction for Russia. Furthermore, with no fixed timeframe for the easing of sanctions post-conflict, we believe that sanctions will weigh on Russia's outlook over the long term. Second, the financial system has turned extremely unstable. The central bank has conducted an unprecedented rate hike from 9.5% to 20% amidst record inflation of 2% week on week. And a bank run looks increasingly likely, with long queues reported outside banks and ATMs. Overall, we do not expect earnings and dividends to return to pre-war levels anytime soon. Russian equities face many negative catalysts that could derail their long-term growth potential. But more importantly, putting aside these economic factors, this conflict is also a severe ongoing humanitarian crisis, which shows little signs of a swift resolution so far. IFAST has responsibilities to not only protect investors' interests under such circumstances, but also to uphold our social responsibilities and humanitarian ethics in light of the human rights violations caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As such, in addition to already disabling Russian products on our platform, the IFAST research team will also officially cease macroeconomic coverage of Russia. Thank you for watching this video and hope to see you soon.